Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, my name's Kit, and this is my world. Thank you very much for joining me. In this episode, I'm going to be doing the Moody book tag, originally created by Slanted Spines. I'll leave a link in the description. So, without further ado, let's get cracking. Question number 1. Do you consider yourself a mood reader? Yes, by Jiminy, I do. I am a terrible mood reader. I find it impossible to read a book, or at least lately possible, but very difficult to read a book if I'm not in the mood. And if I'm in the mood for something very specific, I'm compelled to read that specific thing to the exclusion of all else. So yes, I'm most definitely a mood reader. Question number 2. Do you set TBR lists and do you stick to them? I believe I have only ever officially set one TBR list, and no, I didn't stick to it. Being a mood reader, I find the whole thing pointless. I can't decide that in 3 months' time I'm going to read this particular book, because in 3 months' time I probably won't be in the mood for it, or I might have been in the mood for it earlier, and that'll mess the whole thing up. So it's impossible for me to plan. I can only read what I'm in the mood for. Question number 3. Do books affect you emotionally? Does the mood of a book rub off on you? Yes. Hell yes. Yes, a million times yes. Books affect me very deeply emotionally. They make me laugh a lot. They fill me with joy and ecstasy, but they also make me thoroughly depressed. They make me cry and weep and sob, and snot goes everywhere. It's disgusting. Books affect me very emotionally because when I read a book, I fully immerse myself in the book, to the exclusion of anything else that's going on around me. I live it, I experience it, it's real to me. And I'm not able to read a book unless I'm experiencing that level of immersion, and I don't continue reading it if I'm not in love with the characters, if I'm not feeling it. So by definition of being a mood reader, it affects my moods very much. And also I'm bipolar, so I have very extreme moods. And does the mood of a book rub off on me? Hell yeah, yes, of course it does, yes. The mood of a book will rub off on me to the extent that once I'm in that mood, I will only be able to read something else that's within that mood until something jogs me onto another mood. So when I read a particular book, I'm left wanting more of the same when I finish it, and that continues because I'm in the mood. Question number 4. When you're feeling sad, what do you read? Or do you not read when sad? This is a very difficult question to answer, and a little bit triggery as well, for reasons of triggeriness. I'm not going to go there because I don't want to trigger myself. But when I'm feeling sad, I don't really feel sad. The sadness for me is a much bigger deal than just feeling a little bit because I'm bipolar, so sad is kind of a thing. And do I read when I'm sad? I have been known to read because I'm in that frame of mind and I want to feed the sadness with more misery. That's happened on a few rare occasions, but most of the time when I'm feeling sad, I go to bed and stay there and don't do anything. Or I go to bed and watch, I don't know, reality TV or something like that. But mostly sad for me means total and complete inactivity and non-responsiveness. Question number 5. Most often, do you use reading to escape, to learn, or to critically reflect? I use reading to escape primarily, but during that escapist activity, I have been known to learn occasionally, and also critical reflection happens organically as part of the process of reading. I'm a very critical and a very reflective person, so critical reflection happens whatever I'm doing, but very definitely when I'm reading. And if there is something for me to learn from the book, then I will learn it. So all of the above, but my main motivation for reading is certainly escapism. Question number 6. What is a book that made you laugh out loud? A Walk in the Woods by Bill Bryson, Notes from a Small Island by Bill Bryson, Notes from a Sunburnt Country by Bill Bryson, Mother Tongue by Bill Bryson, A Short History of Nearly Everything by Bill Bryson. There are other books. Many books make me laugh out loud. There's a brilliant scene in one of the Catherine Kerr books. I can't remember which one. It's one of the Devery books, where a grumpy old dwarf says something particularly offensive, and that comment made me laugh out loud. It made me laugh until I cried. There's a scene in one of the Eddings books where Mander Allen, the knight, the Mimbrate knight, shouts up at a soldier on a parapet and tells him off. He scolds him in archaic English in a way that made me laugh out loud. Often really witty, funny lines of well-written dialogue will make me laugh out loud, and there's a lot of that kind of stuff in the fantasy that I read. But if I'm not reading fantasy, if I'm reading non-fiction, then there's a very good chance that if you hear me laughing out loud, it's because I've got my nose buried in Bill Bryson. Question number 7. What is a book that has made you cry? Or if you don't cry, one that really moved you? Well, again, most of them, to be honest. I like books that make me cry, and I get moved by many things, not just sad events. That's kind of the obvious thing and the shallow thing that most people would assume makes you cry. But I cry because I get moved by a particularly well-written line of descriptive text. I cry because justice has been done, or because someone has been vindicated after being, unfairly accused of something. I cry for many different reasons, and most of the books that I love and reread constantly have that effect on me. And happy endings always make me cry, and I look forward to those tears. Question number 8. What is a book that you didn't even know how you felt about? Well, I'm going to say The Buried Giant by this guy. I can say it, but I can't remember it. But it's The Buried Giant by this guy. And I honestly still don't know how I feel about that book. Question number 9. Are you more likely to read on a sunny day or a cloudy day? It makes absolutely no difference whatsoever. If I'm in the mood to read, then I will read, and weather has very little to do with it. The only thing that will stop me reading is noise. If there's noise happening and I'm being distracted, then I can't get immersion, but the weather doesn't really have any effect at all. Question number 10. Do you usually set the mood when you read? Music, lights, smells, etc.? No, not really. Again, I can't have any distractions, but I don't need to do anything specific to set the mood. If there is noise happening, if my neighbours are being noisy or something like that, then I will wear noise-cancelling headphones. And failing that, quite often I might choose to listen to white noise or sea noise, which works really well because it drowns out or distracts me from the other noises, but it doesn't distract me from the reading. But my preference is to just have quiet. Question number 11. Can you leap from book to book, or do you need buffer time between them? Being a mood reader, I tend to fall into the mood of the book that I'm reading, and then when I finish that book, I want something else as similar as possible, preferably the next book in the series, and hopefully it's a long series and I will binge. But certainly that's the only way I could really leap from book to book, if it's in the same series or if it's very similar, if it's in a similar mood or flavour. I'm not one of these people who will put down a book and immediately pick up a buffer book or a palate cleanser, because that's anathema to me. If I'm reading blue, then I want something else blue. I'm not going to go pink just to cleanse my palate because it's pink and I want blue. So I'm a mood reader and I can only stick with what I'm in the mood for. But it might be that Blue Book 1 leads me to Blue Book 2, but in Blue Book 2 something pink happens and that will then jog me onto the pink path, and I will then be in the mood for something pink when I finish that. That's kind of how I move from genre to genre. But generally speaking, I've forgotten the question. And on that note, I think I'll call it a day. Thank you very, very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you haven't already, you know what to do. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share, comment, do all the good stuff, and I will see you next time. See you later.